What makes garnets so special, apart from the fact that they're my birthstone? Well, that and 6 other things that we're going to learn today. Did you know that garnet comes in more colors than just the shade its name comes from? That there's a particular kind of garnet called Bohemian garnet, that in some cultures they've been believed to have healing properties? If not, then keep on watching. In case you didn't know, I've also made videos sharing fun little facts about 4 other gemstones: the pearl, the amethyst, the emerald, and the peridot. I've even made a video breaking down what the birthstone is for each month of the year and why. I've included links to all of these videos in the description and on your end screen in case you want to check them out, which I highly suggest you do. If that's you, you could probably use a warm welcome to my channel. Here at From Laura's Perspective, I make a lot of fun facts videos that are on a pretty wide variety of topics, as are all of the video essays in my ever-expanding YouTube library. If you want your own card to that library, all you have to do is smash that subscribe button. You also might want to tap the bell icon so you don't miss out on any addition to my library that'll likely interest you. But enough about that. Time to learn 7 new things about garnets. The first is what garnets have to do with ancient Egypt. The garnet is a gemstone with one long history going all the way back to 3800 BC. Garnets were discovered in Egyptian art and were thought to be an important symbol of good health. This makes sense considering fact number 6, but don't skip ahead to that part. You're going to want to stick around and learn a little more first. Going back to ancient Egypt, the stone was fashioned into beads for necklaces and used as an inlay for carvings. As one might expect with ancient jewelry, garnets were worn mostly by the higher-ups in ancient Egyptian society and are strongly associated with the pharaohs. Next, we're going to learn about the etymology of garnet. Garnet is derived from the Middle English word garnet, which means dark red. That term came from the Latin word granatum, which means seed. Subsequently, the gemstone's connection to seeds comes from the red seeds inside a pomegranate. This makes sense since most garnets come in a shade that is very similar to that of the pomegranate fruit and seeds, though many believe the name refers to the seed-like shape of these gemstones. But that's just one color garnets come in, which brings us to the next fact. Next, we're going to learn that garnets aren't always necessarily in a dark red shade. When most people think of garnets, they think of blood red gems. Not that I can blame them. After all, garnets are named after pomegranates, a notable red fruit. But like many gemstones, garnets come in many different varieties, thereby coming in different colors. Some even combine 2 or more types of garnet into a hybrid form. Some of the most popular subspecies of garnet are the green demantoid garnet, orange spessartite garnet, red pyrope garnet, and the pink rhodolite garnet. Next up, we're going to learn about glass stone garnets. I can almost assure you that you have seen a counterfeit red glass garnet and maybe even thought it was the real thing. You may not even remember it, but it's a pretty common practice to try to pass off red glass stones as garnets. And glass stones have been counterfeited as other gemstones too. In the Victorian era, small pieces of garnet were fused to glass to create inexpensive knockoff doublets sold for a higher profit. And this practice hasn't stopped since. And I personally don't think it will anytime soon. As you'll find out in the next section, the dawn of the counterfeit gemstones wasn't the only significance of garnets during the Victorian period. Getting back to the topic at hand, one of the ways you can tell a real garnet from a fake one is by checking the richness and saturation of the stone's red hue. Glass stone garnets are usually lighter, brighter, and more vivid than actual garnets, which have a darker, more pomegranate-like shade. Next, we're going to learn about a special kind of garnet called the Bohemian garnet. The heyday of the garnet was back during the reign of Queen Victoria. But I'm not just talking about any garnets. I'm talking about a special kind of garnet called the Bohemian garnet. Bohemian garnets are garnets with dark red pyrope crystals that come from the Czech Republic. They've always been most notable for their fire red shade, which comes from a small chromium oxide component. During the Bohemian garnet's golden age, the gemstone was fashioned into beautiful cluster pieces, kind of like the ones you're seeing up on your screen right now. Thus, Bohemian garnets were used in engagement rings, mourning jewelry, and anywhere it could be found. Next, we're going to learn about some of the supposed healing properties of garnets. A garnet won't exactly make an illness or injury magically go away. Neither will any other gemstone for that matter. In 2023, that's just common knowledge. But they're not entirely useless when it comes to treating a sick or injured person, even when the stone is more used for ritualistic purposes than for anything to do with actually treating the malady at its cause. Throughout time, healers of all kinds have used garnet as an aid in addressing problems mostly relating to inflammation, circulation, and the heart. One of the main reasons for this is that garnets have a similar color to blood and to inflamed skin and other body parts. Then again, this has a deeper connection to spirituality than to science or medicine, which, like the other thing, is pretty much common knowledge these days. Last but not least, we're going to learn why this gemstone is so important to me and to anyone else born in the same month I was. This last fact is the reason I wanted to make this gemstone video in particular so badly. I wanted to talk for a minute about why the garnet is my birthstone and that of all my fellow January babies. The garnet's etymology in the pomegranate actually plays a key role in why it was chosen for January's birthstone. In ancient times, the pomegranate represented different elements of the seasons, as well as rebirth and fertility. Due to January being the first month in a brand new year, it's quite appropriate that rebirth would be associated with both the month of January and the gem of garnet. My birthday is actually 2 weeks after New Year's Eve, so it's equally appropriate that a new year in time and a new year in my life should begin so close together. What better gemstone to associate with that than one that looks and is named after the seeds of a fruit from a shrub, and a fruit you have to peel through to get to its food source, and has health benefits that can make you feel brand new again. Thank you so much for taking time to watch my video to learn 7 new things about my birthstone, which is also your birthstone if your birthday's in January. You might have already known that the garnet is a January birthstone, even if you don't know that I'm one of the people for whom that garnet serves as a birthstone. Either way, you probably didn't know the first 6 things I shared. I was especially excited to make this video, since it's about a stone that's supposed to be special to those born in my birth month. But my channel isn't really about me. It's about the world and culture in which we all live, even if I seem to show favor towards certain aspects of said world and culture that I'm particularly interested in. After all, every channel has to have some kind of niche. To learn about my channel's niche, click on one of the links on your screen, on content of mine in the suggestions, or any video of mine you find appealing on my channel page. If it gets you interested, the only thing there is to do about it is click subscribe. Oh, but that won't be enough. If you want to get an alert on your phone when I've posted a video that might interest you as much as this one did, you're going to have to tap the bell icon. I hope you'll do that so that I'll see you for my next video. But I'm not telling you anything about it beyond that it's part of my fun facts series just like this one. To find out what said facts are about, you're going to have to watch the video when it goes up.